Hey everyone, it's Lisa and today is Monday and I was getting ready, and last night I was thinking of a little tip that I wanted to give you. And when I do these videos, it might just be something silly like this, but this is something that I think it's important to me, and when I was growing up, my mom always made it important in our house. And what it is when your husband or your wife or, your significant other comes home, I think it is so important to try. Now, you don't have to do it every time. I know you're going to be busy with different things, but what I do is I try to go to the door. I try to greet him at the door. And a lot of times, I can just tell by, like, Bridget will see him ride by and go into the mailbox or something, or even if I'm in the kitchen and I hear the key go into the door, I will try to run over there and open the door. And I always try to greet him, hey darling, how was your day? And you just want to make it pleasant to come home. Now, when I was little, it was kind of a big deal. When my dad was coming home, usually I was in the kitchen helping my mom cook. I had different little things that I did, like make the tea. My mom would make a cream cheese and nut salad that I would usually make for my dad. I would be doing different things, setting the table, just different things like that. And I remember her saying, go to the front and go turn the lights on for your daddy. So we always made sure that we had all of our lights on. We always made sure that when he came in the door, this is going to sound very old-fashioned, but I'm just going to tell you the truth. We always made sure when he came in the door that there wasn't a bunch of junk on the stairs, because mine and my brother's rooms were upstairs, and a lot of times we would put like our clean clothes or whatever on the stairs, and we would take them up, the next time we went upstairs. And so we would make sure that everything looked good when he came in. Usually dinner was ready. My mom would go, usually I can remember her taking her hair down, her two barrettes, brushing her hair, and a lot of times she would put on lipstick when my dad was coming home. And we would always wait for him to eat dinner, even if he was going to be a little bit later, because my dad always worked for himself, and so he didn't have like set hours. And so I can remember, knowing what time he was coming home, even if he had a lot of times he was in fishing tournaments or something, and we would, be like, what time is Daddy coming home? And, we'd get prepared for him to come home. And anyway, we would always wait for him to have dinner, no matter what. I mean, very few instances did we not eat with all together. And if my mom had to, she would even give us a little snack. Like if we were really hungry, a little snack to wait to dinner. But to my parents, it was very important for us to all sit at the table and eat dinner together. And so I just was thinking, yesterday I came home, and John is not the best at this. We have had a few of our little, hey Chanel, we've had a few of our little back and forths over this, because even when I come home, I like the lights to be on. Who wants to come home to a dark house, or a dark garage and everything? And I don't like a lot of times he'll shut the garage door because we need to cool it off for the cats, and we have air conditioning in our garage and we cool it off for the cats to sleep there at night. So a lot of times he'll have to leave the glass door open, and I can't stand it if I come home and the light is off and the door is locked. So we've gone around and around, and he's gotten much much better at that. But I was thinking of just different things, different examples, like even as simple as your dog or cat. Bubba, if he's outside and he sees John come home, he runs to both of us, but most of the time John's coming home and Bubba's outside for the afternoon. He will come off the porch and run down the driveway and run down to John getting the mail. And it's a routine. John will open his truck door, Bubba will jump in and ride up the driveway with him. And even that makes John feel so good, that Bubba's excited to see him. And even when you come in your house, and Bridget's always right there at the door. I mean, as soon as we open the door, she comes out of the door and is so happy to see us. And sometimes she'll do a crazy run around the house, where her tail's all crooked, and just run around the house because she's just so excited to see us. Now, I'm not saying you should run around the house so excited to see him, but a lot of times, like I've heard women say, and I know how it is to be home with the kids all day, but trust me, right after I had Brooke, I can remember John coming home from work and then leaving, coming straight home and then leaving again to go to the gym. And I can remember that just burnt me up, you know? So I know that feeling, but I also know everyone wants a nice place to come home to. No one wants to dread coming home to, you know, someone, to either not even being welcomed at the door, or, you know, a dark house, or worse is, I've heard people say, yeah, as soon as he walks in the door, I hand him so-and-so and I tell him, here, your turn, you know, with the baby or something. And you just have to remember that, you know, they've been working too, and it's a team effort, and no one wants to come home to just turmoil, you know. No one wants to come home to someone that's in a bad mood, someone that looks terrible. And I don't mean that you don't have to put your lipstick on if you don't want to, but I just think everyone likes to come home to, you know, a pleasant surrounding, you know, a pleasant atmosphere. And imagine, like, if you were to go to, remember when you went to your grandparents and they always kind of met you at the door and they were so happy to see you, or like when you go over to someone's house for dinner, imagine if you pulled up to their house and no lights were on, you had to find your way up to the front, and you had to ring the doorbell a couple times for them to come to the door. You know, it's just, you always want to feel welcome. And I think that's important for our husbands. And I really want, one of the main things that I'd like to get across in all of my videos is, I think we spend so much time in how we look, how we act, and how we treat people that sometimes don't even really matter. I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be kind to people, but you shouldn't treat other people at work or other people on social media or other people that are your friends better than you treat the people that you love the most and that mean the most to you. And there's just something to making someone feel special. And I wrote down dog company grandma. And I was thinking, you know, how would you feel if you walked in and your dog just never even looked at you? You know, kind of like cats do. Even our cats, you know, they'll get down. I hear Chanel jumping off of something she probably shouldn't be on. And so that's just a quick little tip. And I think it helps so much, you know, for your husband and, you know, for your wife, for anyone. If they come home, greet them with a smile and make them feel welcome, and, you know, maybe ask them about their day, and, you know, just give them a chance to kind of wind down. Now, I know there are people that like to come in and they don't really want anybody asking them any questions, and they don't want anybody in their face, and they don't feel like, you know, they might need some time to just chill out. I can remember my dad would come in and he would usually go to his room, and a lot of times he would take a shower. If not, he would come sit in his recliner, and a lot of times, you know, I would take off his shoes or something, and we had a little spot for him. And, you know, then he would maybe take a few minutes. My mom, he always had like one drink. He had like either a screwdriver or a Greyhound. And he would usually just have that one drink before we ate, and then we had sweet tea for our dinner. And, you know, back then it was just so much more family friendly because we didn't have computers in our rooms. We didn't have a telephone in our room. We didn't have cell phones. So it's kind of like, what else was there to do but to be right there in the family room? And we just all talked so much. I can remember even like in elementary school, them asking me, they still make fun of me for this. They'd say, Lisa, what'd you eat for lunch? And I'd say, well, I drank all my milk, because they were always, you know, wanting me to eat more, I guess, or just, you know, interested in what you ate. And, you know, just kind of talking at the table about different things. And then after dinner, I usually clean the kitchen. And then after dinner, probably about 30 or 45 minutes later, we would have dessert. My mom a lot of times would have made a dessert, or we'd have ice cream or like a Pepsi float or something. And we had different little TV shows that we would watch each night. I can remember watching like just those little silly sitcoms like Alice and you know, just different ones, like Miami Vice, different things like that. You know, that was the 70s and the 80s. And then we had a bedtime. And we had a bedtime all the way up, gosh, as far as I can remember. Now, when we got older, when you went upstairs, you didn't have to, there wasn't a bedtime. You went to bed when you wanted to, but we had to like go upstairs. When I was young, I remember it was 9 o'clock, and then it ended up being 9:30. And, you know, a lot of times we were just tired, and, you know, so we went to bed. I don't remember staying up really late. I can remember doing some homework and stuff sometimes, or writing letters or something like that, you know. But, so I know a lot of the things that I say maybe don't apply now because of today's modern technology, and they don't even apply to my family. You know, John eats so healthy a lot of times. Just last week, I was watching Laura Vitale. I was watching some of her videos, and I told John, I said, you know, on the weekends, why don't we let the kids pick one of Laura's recipes? Like, because she has good stuff like chicken tenders, you know, oven fries, all this kind of stuff, lasagna. I said, we'll let them pick a recipe, and then I'll cook on Saturday night. And he said, I really like going out to eat. So, you know, a lot of times we're eating a bunch of different things. A lot of times for dinner, John will eat just something crazy like just broccoli or something like that. So a lot of times I'm fixing different things, but we do try to at least all eat together. So, you know, I know it's not as traditional as it used to be, but I do try to make him feel at home, make him feel welcome. You know, I try to greet him when he comes in, and you want to make it a place where they want to come home to. I was watching, I think it was the reunion. It was either the reunion or one of the episodes to Southern Charm. And I remember, what was his name? Craig, saying that he was talking about his girlfriend. And when things changed, he said, used to, when I turned the corner and I saw her car there, he said, I got all excited. He said, but at the end, you know, he wasn't excited. You want your significant other to be excited to come home and feel welcome and loved. And I think that that will set the stage for a wonderful night and just a really good, you know, relationship. You want to make each other feel special. And then I'll go into some other things about, you know, listening and how you speak to each other. But I just wanted to talk about that one little tip. So today I don't really have on anything special. I have on a little, Chanel's sitting here with me. I have on just a little dress that I bought a couple of months ago from Zara, actually. And I actually just took the tags off, and I'm going to put on my leopard Tory Burch flats. I think they'll look good with this. And I'm going to just go run some errands, and it's cloudy here today, so I have on I have on my regular light, and I bought 2 new lights. And this is kind of a test video too. I hope I can post it. I hope it's not that bad, but I'm trying to get the lighting good up here, and then I want to totally kind of remodel or redo this room for videos. So I'm doing a little baby step at the time. But so let me know down below what you think about this. Do you think it's crazy? I know that I'm old-fashioned, but I think that there's a lot of things that are old-fashioned that truly go with nature and how anyone likes to be treated. Everyone wants to feel special. Everyone does. And you know how good it makes you feel when you come in and your dog is so happy. You know, why not do that for your person that you love the most? So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you real soon.